What's up, Foxy people? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are learning how to turn writing into HTV, adhesive vinyl, all that kind of stuff. This was a gift I gave my dad for his soberversary, but we are missing one message, which is this one. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Just a little disclaimer. You will see footage of two different projects going on. That's the way I filmed it, my bad. But this process is one of the easiest things I have ever done. I thought it was going to be so hard and so intimidating, and then I did it, and oh my gosh, it's one of my most favorite techniques to do besides like glass etching. It's so super simple, and I know a lot of people have like recipes from an old loved one that they want to put on like a tea towel or oven mitts or something like that. The possibilities are honestly endless. So let's get into it and let me blow your mind. To get this paper or image onto your computer obviously is scanning it. Unfortunately, not everybody has a scanner, right? So let me show you what I do when I don't use my scanner. So I just go ahead and tape the papers up onto the wall. I always make sure to have like another white paper around the edges just to make sure that there's no contrast with the different colors. And then just take a picture of it. And then on my phone, if I need to, I will edit it. So in here, I'm just gonna go down and crop it, get all that extra writing out, get out any lines, whatever. Now on another image for this project, before I even thought to tape it to the wall, I was just taking a picture of it off the table, but then to not get the shadow, I had to do it a little crooked or tilted. So then if that's the case, you just go in, again, under cropping, you have this option to tilt it either vertically or horizontally. And that's all I did with these ones. So as you can see with this one, it's very tilted. So I'm just gonna go in and straighten it out so that it looks as if it was like front on, and then crop it down to size, again with that white paper behind, just to give an extra barrier. Even though it is a slight different color, the website does not pick up on it. And with all of them, I just save them and send them to my computer. So once you have the images on your computer, you're going to want to go to a website called remove.bg. I've seen people use this website for images as well. I've only ever used it for the writing, really, but it works very well, I've heard. Now, because I sent it from my phone, it's giving the file type of HEIC. So an easy fix to this, I'm just going to pull it up and take like a screen grab of it, and then it will be saved as a JPEG and the website will recognize it. So you just go to upload, find the image, and it pops up, and then it will remove the background, and just like that, easy peasy. Download it and it's ready to upload into Design Space. Super simple, right? But as for everything, sometimes when it seems a little too good, it probably is. So I have ran into a couple problems along the way with the images not clearing up or the background not erasing properly. So I'm going to show you those problems and how to fix them right now. So with this one, you're gonna see I have some errors, and mainly it's because the writing was on a textured paper. So as you can see, it didn't remove anything. The website didn't recognize it as having a background to remove. And like I said, that's because it's on a textured paper. This was another one that I had the same problem with. Now, when I ask somebody to write a message or write their name for this kind of project, what I usually do is ask them to write it on a clear printer paper or cardstock, something white and smooth, and try and get them to write with a big marker to make the lines crisper. So I had an idea to maybe try and just screen grab just the name of this one. But it's not going to work either. And again, that's why basically I think that it's the paper that is giving the issue, not necessarily the technique of it. Because once this removes the background, it also removed half the wording for some reason. So I'm still going to be able to use it. It's just going to be extra steps in Design Space, and they're going to be quite tedious. But I'll get into those in just a minute. So as you can see, even scribbles, different colors, everything works. Again, just make sure it's not a textured paper. Now with this one, there is the outline of the paper right there. So I'm just going to go in and edit it from this website. Go up to the eraser and just erase this line. That was just kind of like the overlap of the paper, if that makes sense. And then just download it like normal. Same thing with this one. As you can see, some of the lines are a little smudged. It looks like they got wet or something like that. So I'm gonna go in and with that eraser tool, I'm gonna just clean that up a bit. Kind of got lucky with this image since it was all scribbles anyways. It's easier to clean up because nobody's gonna know that those parts were missing necessarily. Now on to cleaning up these messier ones in Design Space. Let me find it. So I try to click on simple, thinking maybe that would help, and it really doesn't seem to make that big of a difference. So I clicked to see if maybe erasing the background would work on here, and as you can see when you hit preview, it looks like a hot mess. So the only way around this is to get that eraser tool out and just erase everything. I could have left all the little fun images around it, but I feel like it probably would have made this process a little harder, a little more tedious, because I would have had more images to go around, if that makes sense. Like as you can see here, I'm going around with the eraser around each and every letter to erase all those dots. They weren't even dots. I don't even know what they were. Just the hot mess. And again, I think that's because of the textured paper. So the picture is picking up the little divots in the paper, and that's what is causing the shadowing on this. So again, like I said, although it is very tedious, obviously I didn't want to go and scrap this because we needed this child's handwriting for this specific project. So I had to go over, and it honestly didn't take that long, maybe 10 minutes, maybe. It really wasn't too bad. So just go around, always hitting preview. I suggest to hit preview even when you're not doing this project, this kind of project. Always hit preview before hitting continue, just to make sure that there's nothing that's hidden from the eye that you're missing. once I hit preview a few times and notice that there's nothing left, then I just go on to continue, save it as a cut image, and move on. So this one, I'm gonna have to do the same thing. So go ahead and erase everything around it. Get as close to the words with the biggest eraser possible, and then go in with a smaller eraser and clean it all up. Now when I'm going to save it, I am realizing that there was a few dots that I missed, but I'm not going to go back and do it all again just for those little dots. I'm going to just clean it up in, like on the canvas, just using contour. So you click on contour and you can click away those spots. Obviously you wouldn't want to do this with that, like when you had all the spots before. I don't know if it would pick up very well, and I think that would just be a lot more time consuming than erasing it. Now I can tell that there's another spot somewhere that I can't see because there is that gap underneath the word. If there wasn't, then that text box would just be around the word, the one image. So I'm trying to change, there it is. I had to click out of the box because it was right on that corner. So go into contour again, and then this time I'm just gonna go onto this side panel, and you can see that bottom, that is the spot that I'm missing. And there's the text box that's around just the image like I wanted it. Now here is another project that has given us a lot of problems to work with. A lot of people like to use old recipes from grandparents and that kind of stuff, but because this is such an old picture or recipe and the paper is so textured and wrinkled and there's stuff spilt on it, it ends up giving us a much bigger problem when we go in to upload it into this website. And you'll see right here exactly what I mean. So as you can see, it really only erased the table because that's what it read as a background, because there's so many different colors here. That's why I always suggest to use just a clear white piece of paper, because then it will distinguish that against everything else to remove it as a background, if that makes sense. Now, I'm not really going to be able to do this step either, as you can see, again, because it's so old. And even if I tried to go in and erase around all the letters, the words and the letters are so thin and so small, the eraser doesn't get small enough to go between all the letters, for one. And for two, I think that would honestly take a couple hours to be able to go through each and every letter on this recipe. So unfortunately, the only way to fix this problem is to grab a fresh sheet of white paper, grab the recipe and the paper, put it together up on a window and trace it. It will still be the original person's handwriting because you're not writing it out yourself, you are just tracing over their writing. So it's still going to be their handwriting, but unfortunately I feel like this is the only way that I have found to work with an older recipe like this. So once you have all of your names, writing, whatever the case is, downloaded from the website, then you just bring them all into Design Space like you would any other image. You don't have to worry about removing the background because it's already done. So you literally just have to upload it, save it as a cut image, and move on. Even these skinny letters worked out just fine. Like I said before, usually when I ask for this kind of project, I do ask them to write with a marker, a Sharpie, something thicker, so that the lines aren't so thin and possibly mess up a cut. I forgot to ask them for this one, but it didn't really seem to be a problem. I have a couple names, like this one specifically, that's very thin. But when I went to go cut it, there was no lifting, there was no tears, it cut perfectly fine. Mind you, I have a new blade. I don't know if that played any role into it, but I didn't have any issues with any of the letters not cutting or being too thin or anything like that. And I didn't cut it on washi or not, like I cut it on the regular vinyl setting that I use, well, HTV setting that I use. So once they're all up in here, you just select them all, insert them, and then you can edit them, like edit the size as much as you need or want. Change the color, change the rotation if you wanted. Literally edit it as if you were editing any other image that you uploaded. Now this is the blanket I ended up making with those names for my son's grandmother. It turned out perfect. She absolutely loved it. There's room to grow, of course. And as you can see, the words came out perfectly. The letters came out perfectly. See what I mean about how simple it is? Honestly, go ahead and try it, and I promise you, you're gonna be absolutely blown away with how easy this process was. Obviously, as I showed you, not all writing examples are going to be as simple, but of course there's always a way around it to make it work. There may just be a couple extra steps for you. So I hope that you try it, and if you do, tag me on Instagram. I love to see people's projects and process, and I love to see people succeed with these kinds of projects. If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, make sure you hit the subscribe button and become part of the squad. I do all kinds of lifestyle videos, mummy hacks, Cricut tutorials, Disney planning, wedding tips, you name it, I'm probably gonna do it. Also, if this video helped you in any way, please give it a big thumbs up. It really is a free way that you can help me out and help grow my channel. Let me know in the comments what kind of things you're struggling with, and I would love to make a video and help you with those as well. I have so much content coming this year. I'm so super excited. So get to crafting, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.